Welcome to Sportlink TV and to a very exciting event we have here today at our Tavrum Superstore. But first of all, please give us a like and subscribe to the channel below. So we've got the running brand On here today, and we've also got Logan Smith, who is a local runner, but he was on the elite starting lineup for the London Marathon this year, so we're very, very proud of Logan. Logan is an On sponsored athlete, so he's here with them, and he's going to be taking our customers out on a 5k run around Tavrum. On have bought 3 models of shoes for us to try. They bought the Cloudmonster 2, the Cloudsurfer 2, and very, very excitingly, they've bought the Cloudboom Strike, which is their race shoe for us to have a little look at. Logan has also bought his London Marathon shoe, which is the light spray version, which is very, very exciting, and we're going to have a good look at that later as well. So it's perfect conditions for taking these shoes out for a run today. We've got lots of people turning up, just setting the shop up, and we'll be going out shortly for the run and then coming back and talking to Logan and talking to a few of the customers as well. So as I say, like and subscribe and keep watching. Well done, guys.
Thank you.
How was it?
Amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, recovery run apparently. I feel proper nice.
Yeah, they're nice shoes. I've just a little walk around in them, but they're very, very nice. And they look the biz as well.
Surprisingly squishy.
Oh yeah.
But not horrific. Squishy, is it? It's just like a nice level.
Yeah.
What pace were you going at? Do you know?
I finished on a 5:30.
Yeah, yeah, and they felt good.
Yeah, that's where they want to be.
Yeah, yeah.
Avocado.
I did you find that, you know?
It tasted good. It tasted good. Yeah, the guy out there was very much just rice, lentils, breakfast for lunch and dinner, and then it was breakfast with pancakes, avocados.
Right, so no sugar, no salt and
No, not really. No, not a lot of sugar. I did have sugar for when I needed it, but I had backup, which is very different. Sweet.
Yeah.
So I had my backup.
In brand activation, but I also lead a UK athlete ambassador program, and lo and behold, we've got lovely Logan who joined earlier this year, and this is a kit and financial support opportunity for athletes who are up and coming and have real potential in the UK and beyond to go and achieve great things, and you're already on that road, so we've really enjoyed our journey with you so far, and I thought probably a lot of you already know Logan, but it's so inspiring after London to have seen your performance and just be part of your journey so far. So I thought maybe it'd be great to know about your journey up until this point, how you started running, and getting to this point right now on a pair of light spray running 2:15, which is a pretty impressive story.
Yeah, well, to be fair, I actually bought my first pair of shoes from Sportlink.
How long ago?
When I was 15, 16, so like, yeah, it's like 12 years ago,
Nice.
13 years ago. Neil actually sold me the pair as well. I was running against his son at the time, Craig. We're doing 800 metres, running against each other quite often. And then Neil sort of spoke to me afterwards and was like, if you want to get a pair of shoes to train in and run in, then pop by. And he was here, sold me a pair of shoes. And yeah, then since then, did sort of the shorter stuff to begin with, so 5Ks, 10Ks. Always knew that the longer it went, the sort of more enjoyable I was having at the races, at the events I was doing. So kind of just had to learn the trade and do that sort of side of the running before you could do the longer stuff. Just learned from my coach. Whenever he told me to do something, I would generally do it. Listen to him. That's why I have him as my coach. And then along the way, we've got faster over the shorter stuff, and then yeah, it's always been with the end goal of running marathons, but you've just had to. It's been a long journey, it's been a long process, and even then I'm still young in terms of marathon running. It's most of the people I'm racing against are in their 30s, so we are starting younger, but we've had a lot of years of building up to it. So.
And when did you realise this is what you wanted to do? Because it's great kind of going for a park run, as we were talking about before. Your first park run was 23 minutes.
Yeah, Blickling Park Run at 23 minutes.
At what race did you realise, actually, I could go on to do this professionally and make it kind of your lifetime dream?
I think it was probably when I first broke 15, and I wasn't really sure whether I'd ever break. When I first started running, the goals were sub 16, run a 10k in like sub 35, half marathon in sub 80 at one point, and then a marathon in 2:30 if I can. That was a dream as a youngster from not knowing much about running. And then when I realised I broke 16 fairly soon, I was like, okay, breaking 15 is the big goal, and I struggled with that for a while. And then when I did, it was after I'd come back and working with James for a few years, about 18 months down the line. We then I think I ran 14:57.
Nice.
And then sort of the times then started to tumble. Then I got down to 14:31, which was my 5k road PB for a good few years until last year, where I ran 14:30. So I still do the short stuff now, and then it was about that time where I realised if I still sort of keep sticking at it, it can work, but you just need to wait till I do the longer stuff. And the longer I did, the more I realised my rankings nationally compared better when I was doing the longer stuff compared to the shorter stuff. Like 5k rankings, I was in the 100s, 200s, whereas then I was doing a half. I think at the time I was ranked sort of 40th, 50th, and I did the marathon and it was 12th. So the longer it went, my numbers sort of started coming down. Yeah, the shoes were, I'd seen them in, obviously you see them online, you see the videos of them, and I trusted that if they were as good as how the Cloudboom Strikes felt, and the weight was taken out of them. Like, everyone's trying to do everything they can to reduce weight in running. And if you've got 30 grams less on your feet and you're doing, let's say, 180 steps per minute, so 90 steps per foot every minute, and you're taking 30 grams out, that's going to be a difference. It's going to be a small difference that actually makes a big difference at the end of the race. So I trusted that the shoes were going to be good. Don't produce anything that's bad. I haven't had anything bad, so I was like, why would I not put full faith into a brand that's put full faith into me? And I was repaid
with a backup option.
Yeah. It wasn't like I was going to wear the Cloudboom Strikes if the light sprays didn't play out the way I wanted them to, but luckily they did.
I think we had a few questions with regards to sizing. I had no idea on sizing going into it, so I did trust Logan's preference. You went true to size and you were happy with it. Happy with your trust in that.
The hole that you put your foot in looks very, very small, so you just have to, you can open them, you can stretch them out, so when you're in, your foot feels locked into the shoe, because it feels stable and durable.
As well, that
yes, if anyone wants to.
And go through kind of the tech of the shoe, but then, moving forward, you're looking to go more into 5k, 10k races now, so feel free to pass it around.
I know you want them.
I kept them very clean, actually. I'm quite
impressed. You wouldn't think they've ran a marathon, because they are very, like I said, I found them very, very durable. And you can just see from the top of it, the weight there's not a lot of weight in the top.
So the upper, for anyone who's not aware, it's 1.5 kilometres of thermoplastic, which is spun at very high heat and intensity and speed onto the midsole, and it creates a very breathable mesh upper that locks your foot into place. So it's thicker around the areas that need to hold your foot in, and then it's lighter on the more breathable areas. And as Logan said, it's lighter, breathable, and seamless fit, so great for aerodynamics for 26 miles.
Considering how hot it was, the foot didn't feel, it wasn't sweaty, it wasn't, and actually after the race, one of the hardest bits of the race is when you finish the marathon, and then you've got to take your shoes off, you've got to bend down to undo your laces, but literally I just flick them off, flicked off, didn't have to worry about undoing the laces. That's going to be the worst bit, bending down after 26 miles to take off the laces.
Logan, thanks so much for coming in today and coming to visit Sportlink. You know, we're so proud of you. You know, everything, and it was just lovely to see you on that television screen.
Good day. Yeah, it was a lovely day.
With the London, did you go out with any tactics? Because obviously it's only your second marathon. So how did you approach the day?
Yeah, so me and James before the day, we'd sort of thought we had a time goal in mind, but we knew conditions might not play a part. So we sort of chatted to a few people at the technical meeting and tried to figure out what paces they were going for, what times they wanted. The pace groups were all they were 61, 62, 63, 64, 65, and then 67. We wanted 66, 66:30. So we had to make our own pace group up with a few people that we knew wanted to run around that time. And then we sort of saw each other on the start line, started running, got into a little group, and then just trying to work together from there. And they're the group that I stayed with until about Cutty Sark, and then after that they sort of dropped off a little bit. I was hoping to work with them for a little bit longer, but they didn't work out on the day, and I sort of took the pace on myself, and from there it was just I do it all the time in training. I'm running solo, so.
Okay, what was it like running solo in
a race
like that?
Yeah, it was pretty mega, to be fair. All the crowds were great. It was so fantastic to just hear the support just cramming alongside of you. There's 4 or 5 people deep the whole way pretty much, and the noise you sort of forget about that you're running by yourself, because you don't feel as though you're running by yourself even though you are solo.
Yeah.
It wasn't until about mile 15 where we went under the first underpass where there was no one there and it was dead silent, and then I was like, okay, I'm 15 miles into a marathon here, got 10 miles left. It's been pretty tough and there's no one around me, so it's time to go to work.
Yeah. Did the weather have any kind of effect on you, obviously with kind of hydration tactics and stuff like that? Did you have to kind of alter things during the race? Yeah,
we did sort of change a few things before the race in terms of hydration tablets, electrolyte tablets, and then I was struggling with some digestion, so I was getting quite a stitch from about mile 16, 17, because in the heat you're burning a lot more carbs in the heat, but you're struggling to take more on. Your body can't process the carbs when you're taking them on the heat. So what I ended up doing was I stopped taking my gels at 25k and then just took water or my carb drinks from there. So the fluids were topped up, but I wasn't using the gels because I didn't want to risk any sort of upset stomach or that sort of thing.
Do you, as a kind of elite athlete, do you have your gels kind of made for you now and all your kind of electrolytes?
Yeah, so I was able to sort of sort it out myself and have the right amount of powder to liquid, so I could manipulate it to have it as strong or as weak as I wanted. And then every 5k there was a table with my bottle and my number on that, so I could see where my bottle was, and it had a gel attached to it. So if I wanted a gel, I could have a gel. If I wanted a drink, I could have a drink.
So is this something that On help you with now? As obviously you're now an On-sponsored athlete.
Yes.
Do they kind of link up with their sports scientists?
Yeah, so a lot of that is through Precision Fuel and Hydration, where I've used their stuff for the last 2 years, which they've been really helpful. And On, they provide me with the good shoes, good kit, and the race day vibes as well. They're out there shouting, cheering, the On Cheer Zone, Amelia, Steve, they're all out there on the course, so that was great. But yeah, the hydration side of it, I think they leave to the experts, and then they sort me out with the fast shoes.
So I think what a lot of people don't realise is, even though you're an On-sponsored athlete, you're still working full time.
Yes.
You're still a very, very busy man. How do you manage to fit everything in?
It's a tough job, but you know, once you get a bit of structure, you do your runs in the morning, you go to work, you come home, you do your run, you have your dinner, you go to bed, you wake up, you do it again. It does turn out to be long weeks, and you know, probably not ideal in terms of running fast and running well and recovery, but I try and make it work. There's not a lot of people in that field, the elite men's field, that do work full time as well, and I think I was one of the first full time workers in the elite field. I think everyone ahead of me, bar one maybe, all run full time and are full time athletes. So I take that as a small win. And so you know, if I can try and break into that next level above and try and get that support to be able to just enhance recovery.
So what's the aim for going forward for, let's say, the next 12 months? What's your kind of plan?
Run a fast marathon, go somewhere fast, go somewhere flat, run a European Championship standard, which is 2:12:30.
Okay.
That's the aim. That's the next sort of level above, which I feel as though then would put me in the next echelon of those runners who do it full time and are able to focus solely on running. But in the meantime, just doing a few more 10Ks, half marathons, no marathon for the rest of the year, sit down with my coach, James, and then have a look at what's available in the autumn.
And finally, what advice would you give for a young Logan who wants to be on that elite start?
stick at it. It may seem like a long way away, and it may feel as though these guys are gods to you, but at one point you will be there, and just by sticking at it, doing the miles, doing what you're told, running the training sessions and getting out there, and it will all pay off in the end.
That's fantastic advice. Logan, thank you so much.
Thank you, Karen. Thank you. Thank you, Sportlink.
Have you in the store.